Nurse Emma had always prided herself on her professionalism and compassion when it came to her patients. But nothing could have prepared her for the day when an unconscious patient was wheeled into her hospital room. As she looked at the patient's face, her heart sank. It was the person responsible for the tragic accident that had taken the life of her younger brother. Emma felt a rush of conflicting emotions, anger, grief, and a fierce sense of injustice. How could she possibly provide care for someone who had caused so much pain to her family? The memories of her brother flooded back, the laughter they shared, the dreams they had. It was all gone because of this person lying in front of her. Despite her inner turmoil, Emma knew she had a duty to care for every patient that came through those hospital doors. She took a deep breath and pushed aside her personal feelings, focusing on the task at hand. She tended to the patient's wounds, monitored vital signs, and administered medications with a detached professionalism that belied the storm raging within her. Days turned into weeks, and Emma found herself spending more and more time by the patient's bedside. As she cared for them, she began to see beyond the label of the person responsible for her family's pain. She saw a human being, vulnerable and in need of help. Slowly, her hardened heart began to soften, and she started to feel empathy for the patient. One night, as Emma sat by the patient's bedside, holding their hand, they suddenly stirred. Their eyes fluttered open, and in that moment, Emma saw a flicker of recognition and remorse in their gaze. Without thinking, she blurted out the question that had been weighing on her mind since the accident. "Why did you do it? Why did you take my brother away from me?" she asked, her voice trembling with emotion. The patient looked at her, their eyes filled with tears. "I never meant for any of this to happen. It was a terrible mistake, and I've been living with the guilt every single day since that day. I'm so sorry," they whispered. In that moment, Emma felt the walls around her heart crumble. She realized that holding onto her anger and resentment was only causing her more pain. She took a deep breath and made a choice to forgive, not for the patient's sake, but for her own peace of mind. Tears streamed down her face as she reached out and embraced the patient, offering a gesture of forgiveness and understanding. In that moment of vulnerability and shared pain, Emma learned that true compassion and empathy could transcend even the deepest wounds. And as she let go of her personal vendetta, she found a sense of liberation and healing that she had never thought possible. From that day on, she vowed to approach her patients with an open heart, to provide care and comfort, not just as a nurse, but as a fellow human being who understood the power of forgiveness.